Today I'm going to show you how to make your own DIY GoPro scuba mask mount. What we're going to do is take a regular mount and mount it right here on the nose bridge of the mask. Now, depending on the mask that you have, it depends on how you're going to mount it. For example, I have this other mask over here, which I wouldn't be able to use this technique because, as you can see, there's no plastic mount on the nose bridge. Whereas this Cressy mask, it has this little bridge, and underneath it, you can see that there's a gap underneath there where I can stick a screw. Alright, materials that you're going to need to make this GoPro mask mount are a standard GoPro mount, a drill bit. I have 3 here, one for a pilot hole and a number 7 for my screw hole. Then I also have a number 6 just in case I need to bore out that hole just a little bit more. Depending on the mask that you're using, you're going to need a number of washers. I have 6 here just so I make sure that I have enough. Then I have 2 locking nuts. You only really need 1, but because this is going to be on a scuba mask, which I'll more than likely be using on a boat, I want to make sure that I have 2, 1 just for a backup. I also have a Sharpie for marking my mount, a 1-inch machine screw. Again, depending on the mask that you're using, the size of the machine screw is going to, be dependent on that mask. A Phillips head screwdriver. I also have a hacksaw, a drill, and an old spare key, which I'll show you why I have that here in just a few minutes. Alright, let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is take a look at the mask. Again, I'm going to be mounting this right on the bridge of the mask, right on the nose bridge. And on this one, I'm lucky that I have space underneath here that I can run my 1-inch machine screw down through and then lock it into place. First thing I'm going to do is get my mounting bracket, my Sharpie, and I'm going to mark on the bracket here where the bridge, the top bridge of the mask is. So I'm actually going to have to take my hacksaw or a Dremel tool if you have one, or some other cutting device, and actually score that out so that it sits flush up against the mask here. So I'm just going to hold it in place where I want it to go, and I'm just going to mark both sides of that bracket so that I know where I want to score out. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and drill my pilot hole. I want to protect the mask skirting, so I'm going to actually take the nose piece, turn it inside out so that it actually makes a gap in there, so I'm not too worried about my drill bit going down through the plastic and then through the rubber skirting. I have this old key like I mentioned before. I am actually going to take that and I'm going to hold it, place it up through there and hold it there so that if my drill bit does go through, it's going to hit that key and not hit the rubber skirting. So let me go ahead, take my pilot bit, attach it to my drill, and now I'm going to very carefully, holding the mask still, go straight down the center of this nose piece. Okay, I'm through the first part, and as you can see, I was just putting light pressure because I don't want to go too hard and go all the way through and cause problems for myself. Okay, I'm through, and I hit the key so that the skirting of the mask is protected. I'm just going to chip away a little bit of the plastic there. That obviously the drill bit gets a little hot, so it melts a little bit, but as you can see, I bored my hole straight down through. Alright, I've gone ahead and attached my number 7 drill bit to the drill, and as you can see, this bit fits perfectly right down through the mounting bracket. So I know that it's going to be the right size for that hole, but just in case I need to bore it a little bit, I have a number 6 drill bit as well. So I'm going to take my key, place it back up through the skirting to protect my mask, hold the mask nice and steady, and now go down through with this number 7 bit to make that hole just a little bit bigger. And that's all it takes. Now I'm going to take my 1-inch machine screw and make sure that it fits down through these holes. And we are through. Now take that back out, and now what I'm going to do is actually put the screw through the mounting bracket, back down through the hole, screw it in, and I'm not going to put a bolt on it or anything, but what I want to do is screw it down so that it meets up with the mask. Alright, and then I'm going to make sure that I have my marks right of where I want to score out the mask. Now I can see that I am a little bit off, so I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to remark the bracket for where I want to score. Okay, now that I got my marks realigned, I took the bracket back off the mask. I'm going to go ahead and very carefully with my hacksaw score out across the line with the hacksaw. Okay, and the reason we're doing this again is because, as you can see on the mask, it has a little lip here, and I want this mount to sit as flush against that mask as I can possibly get it. As you can see, I went ahead and notched that out quite a bit, and when I put it up against the mask now, you can see that it lines up pretty well. There's still a little bit of a space in there, but I'm not too concerned about that. I think that notch is going to help really secure this to the mask. So I'm actually going to take 2 of my washers, put it in the middle of the mounting bracket, and drop my screw down through. Now I'm going to line up the screw to the hole in the mask, put it all the way through, make sure that my notch is sitting on the top of the mask, and now the fun part, trying to get this bolt on. Okay, I've gone ahead and I've attached the bracket. As you can see, it's nice and snug on there. I got my nut down underneath, washers in the middle, nice and secure. Now all we gotta do, take the GoPro, attach it to the bracket, and there you have it. Your own DIY GoPro dive mask mounting bracket.